grade 11 students from EDHS and the Outdoor Ed program. I'm Anna.
I'm Lily.
I'm Aria.
Today we are installing bluebird boxes. Bluebirds are part of over 200 migratory bird species that live part-time at the tiny marsh.
We are installing these boxes to create safe nesting areas for birds and their young.
We are installing eastern bluebird boxes. First thing we have to do is stick the pole into the ground. Ow! Using this pole bounder. The pole should be about 5 to 6 feet tall out of the ground before attaching the bird box. So the next thing we have to do is use the clamps to attach it to the back of here and have the bird box facing southeast away from the winds. And I have this little black, I'm not even sure what it is, to just steady it and make sure that it's tightly on there. The last step before our bird box is completely finished is to apply some grease to the bottom of the pole just so other animals can't get up into the bird boxes. And just start nesting. It doesn't have to go up super far, just enough that it will stop animals from attempting to eat the birds. And now we're done. Some of the easily identified waterfowl birds that are present at the tiny marsh are trumpeter swans, Canadian geese, and mallard and wood ducks, and as well as loons, which are spotted due to their apparent calls. Many birds rely on the marsh for habitats, and the tiny marsh would benefit from having shallow ponds over mud field flats. They have been successful for many, and for the marsh would benefit from this setup for northern pintails, northern shoveler, American widgeon, the ruddy duck, the snow goose, Ross's goose, tundra swan, and many other shorebirds.
Before the snow, many birds that reside seasonally in northern areas return to their winter homes in the southern states. In the winter, eastern bluebirds can often be found in South Carolina and the east of Texas. But in order to get to their warm residence, they have to embark on a 200-kilometer journey across North America. Having a long journey requires lots of fuel, so birds tend to bulk up for the annual long trip they have ahead. 200,000 birds migrate down south in the fall season, but because of urbanization and light pollution, only about half the amounts will return in the spring migration season. Some migratory birds have also had the ability to stay over the winter in current years, as winters have become less frigid as a result of climate change, which is becoming a more prevalent concern for the birds residing in Canada.
For migratory birds, water in wetlands is crucial to their survival and development. The majority of birds rely on aquatic ecosystems during their life cycles. These sources of water are vital for feeding, drinking, and nesting. However, as aquatic ecosystems become increasingly threatened, so are the migratory birds which depend on them. For example, the less water intake birds have, the more dehydrated they get during long flights. The more water becomes polluted, the less native birds to these certain areas can drink, which also then detrimentally affects their flight patterns. Along with this, birds which use wetlands for breeding depend on both physical and biological attributes of the land. Determining physical and biological characteristics include water depth and temperature, presence or absence of vegetation, patchiness or openness of vegetation, type of vegetation, foods, water chemistry, type of soils, and geographic or topographic location. Any distinct differences in these attributes will contribute to subtle but distinct differences in bird use. Wetlands are also an important barrier between land-based predators and reduce the risk of predation of young or nesting birds. Example, raccoons.